here. Let's go in reverse. Cardinals president of baseball operations, Chaim Bloom, will join us at 11:15 today, catching us a little early to accommodate our NFL coverage. At 11:05, we will do our NFL picks. At 10:45, Jim Thomas, one of the great writers the Post-Dispatch has ever had, covering a number of sports, most recently the St. Louis Blues, and he will be with us promoting his new book about the Blues. Jim Thomas at 10:45. 10:35, the only Division I football team in the St. Louis area is Lindenwood University. Their coach, Jed Stugart, always kind to join us. Love getting coaches on, and Coach Stugart is always ready to rock. And then at 10:20 before that, Mike Claiborne, who was at Faurot Field yesterday for Mizzou's loss to Alabama. And right now, we are joined by Bernie Miklasz to lead off the show, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Bernie's appearances. Good morning, Bernie.
Good morning. I don't know, man. Bat me lead off. That's a way to kill your audience. Are you sure about this?
You got it.
How are you?
We've done our research. You have a great OBP. We like the way it's trending, and so we've decided to have you bat lead off today, and we love that. Excited to have Chaim on at 11:15, his first live appearance on Sports on a Sunday morning. He has told us that it is in his calendar for the foreseeable future at 11:30, so we bumped him up to 11:15. It's going to be fun to talk to Chaim.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And hey, listen, man, I want to start off. I know I'm not the host, but congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers. And I know you were a very happy man. I thought that game was going to go into the fourth quarter, and then it's a matter of, I thought, well, Oregon at home hadn't lost in a long time. They'll probably squeak one out. But it isn't that I was an Indiana doubter. It's just that that's a tough yard to go in. It wouldn't have been any kind of disgrace if Indiana had lost yesterday. That was, pardon the cliche, that was a statement victory. And I don't have to tell you this. I mean, first of all, I love the fact that a team from the Midwest that has risen up out of nowhere is now a legitimate power in college football. And I love the fact that, hey, these Midwest teams, these Midwest boys and everything, they're pretty tough. They can go to the West Coast and win. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like, seriously. But I'll just leave it at this. And I'll let you take it after this because you're the one who should be talking about Indiana. Pat Forty wrote in SI.com, quote, Frank Cignetti might be the greatest hire in college football history. How about that?
It's right there. I mean, he is an absolute delight of a breath of fresh air. I just got off the phone actually with somebody who's worked at IU for many years, and we had a talk because I'm going to be there for homecoming next week. And I'm actually considering doing the show from Bloomington. It'd be fun. It's where it all started for me. And they're also, they're the talk of college football right now. But he told me that Curt Cignetti reminds him of Bob Knight. And he would know because he worked with Bob Knight, the individual I was talking to. And it reminds him just the way that he goes about his business, his no nonsense, his commitment to excellence, the day to day. And I know that Coach Knight had in the public eye a lot of negative things that have happened, and Cignetti is not that. But he means business, and he is out to win football games, and that's also something that was very foreign to Indiana fans. He actually last year when he said, I win, Google me. When he said he was barking at the media and standing up for himself, he was really trying to fire up the Indiana fan base that things are going to change around here. And boy, did he change it in a heartbeat. He hit the portal hard. He has great support from the boosters with deep pockets, including Mark Cuban, but many others. And it's just the perfect storm right now. And Bernie, I think the one thing, and I'll get into some technical things about why Indiana is so good, but one of the things that really burned Indiana fans was we went through 30 plus years. Bill Mallory had a great run there in the 80s and early 90s, but we went through 30 plus years of misery, really. I mean, just expecting to lose and expecting it around this time of year to start lacing them up for basketball. And last year, when Cignetti takes over and wins 11 games, Indiana fans are like, we've arrived. Boy, people are going to love us. This is great. And what was the response? They don't play anybody. It's Indiana. I mean, this is a one-time thing. And you could hear it. Like, I love Kirk Herbstreit and Desmond Howard, but you could hear it in their voice the Michigan and Ohio State sort of elitists, like, Indiana, come on, man.
No doubt.
They haven't earned it. And then Indiana comes out and finally they have silenced everybody with this win at Oregon. And Bernie, they did it really nothing fancy. I mean, like you said, they just lined up and whipped Oregon. They played physical football, tackling, blocking. And if Dan Lanning isn't doing the shifting at the line of scrimmage on the defensive side throughout the game that kept drawing Indiana off, Indiana beats them probably by 20.
Yeah, and look at how, they allowed a touchdown, their defense in the first quarter, and that was it. No more touchdowns after that. And just absolutely just smothered them, the Oregon offense in the second half. I mean, it was only like 67 yards or something. I mean, it was just an incredible piece of work. And Indiana is blessed to have Curt Cignetti. He is a great character too. He's a lot of fun. And I know we want to talk about Mizzou, but I want to make a point just to echo something you said, because this has been in my crawl ever since that happened when Kirk Herbstreit belittled Indiana after they lost at Notre Dame and basically said they didn't belong. And I see this stuff really irritates me. And here's why. It's funny how if you look around the college football terrain right now, so many of these legacy teams with the name brand logos, right? They continue to get exposed as average teams, maybe even below average teams, but they still hold their prestige and they still hold the star power with a lot of national media, frankly, who are lazy media. There's still, programs like Penn State, Florida State, Clemson, Florida, Auburn, Oklahoma to an extent. I mean, there's a few more. They're still treated like royalty, and that there's something special. And not only are they not, but then the old guard like Herbstreit and some of the others, they don't want to recognize that college football has changed, the NIL, the portal, everything else. And if it's all about who's really got a great team and who doesn't, okay, Indiana doesn't have a quote name brand in college football. Why should that matter? Why do these people automatically turn their noses up against some upstart programs that are better than everyone thinks and better than the old guard media gives them credit for? And that's why I think, and there's a few teams like that. It's not just Cignetti. There's a few teams like that. I just love this because these people might have to start analyzing college football in a more honest fashion instead of just reverting back to, it's Penn State. Everyone knows Penn State's great, that kind of thing.
Yeah, right. And it's always about Heisman candidates, and there are some really good players right now on that Indiana team and in the Big Ten. And that's something else I want to bring up. And this will segue into the Alabama-Mizzou conversation because I love Nick Saban. I mean, I want to say that first and foremost. I've always been a fan. I've read books about him. I've studied him. I just think he's one of the great leaders in sports history. But he said something yesterday, again, like he keeps doubling down on this. SEC is better than the Big Ten because the Big Ten is top heavy. So I look at that, and he might be right that there's more depth. There are more top 25 teams in the SEC, but don't overlook the top heavy. I mean, tell me in the SEC, you tell me, Coach Saban, which team is the elite team coming out of that league? Which one? I don't see one. Ole Miss? Nope. Oklahoma? Nope. I mean, Ole Miss darn near lost to Washington State.
Right.
Oklahoma lost to Texas, who was unranked. Alabama is not there either. And that was a miss for Missouri because this whole conversation we just had applies to Mizzou. They needed that. Georgia, LSU, Tennessee, no, and no. There are no elite teams in the SEC. So don't tell me that the SEC is better than the Big Ten when I've got 3 national championship contenders in that league and the last 2 national champions.
I was talking to someone last night about this after watching Georgia pull one out. I give Georgia credit for pulling that one out. But again, the officiating in the SEC, I can tell you this much, Big Ten's officiating crews are far superior to the SEC. But anyway, I was saying, I'm an SEC hunk, except I don't lose my mind. I also try to keep very objective. Tell me who a great team is in the SEC so far. Mm-hmm. Now, Alabama recovered very nicely from the Florida State embarrassment. Listen, I think they're playing at a high level. Don't get me wrong. But they were beatable yesterday, too. So we'll get back to that. But who is a truly great team in the SEC? All-around great team. They play great offense. They got great defense. They got great special teams. I don't see one. I see, obviously, several very good teams. But to your point, I don't see a team where you say, okay, they'll go in the playoff, and they're the team to beat. At this point, now that could change. But at this point, the team to beat is going to come out of the Big Ten. And there's nobody better than Ohio State. And I don't think there's anybody in the SEC right now who's better than Indiana. And I think this is great for college football. I mean, the SEC does not have a birthright to, be given special treatment. And I'm glad to see. That's why I love Indiana. I'm glad to see them just go. See, they don't like it. It's almost like Indiana is at the. Just let me give you a metaphor. Indiana is like the fancy. No, excuse me. This is like the fanciest country club you can go become a member in, right? Mm-hmm. And so you got Cignetti in Indiana, like outside, and they'd say, "Yeah, hi, Kurt Cignetti, Indiana, sir. We don't." You don't belong. We don't see you on the list.
Sir, I'm sorry, you're not on the list.
So, no, like it's like a big country club, and they want to block everybody else out. And Cignetti and some others, like the Georgia Tech coach, is another one. They're like, the heck with this, man. If you don't let us in, we're just going to beat your teams and bust our way in.
That's right.
Love it.
And that's how college football is. Mike Claiborne's going to join us here in about 5 minutes. He was at Faurot Field yesterday, so we'll get his take on the game as well. But let me ask you this. What will it take for Missouri to get to that level? What did you see yesterday that they are missing?
There's a couple ways to look at it. I'll be quick. Number one, the thing about Mizzou, they didn't come close to playing their best game. I mean, Hardy didn't do enough because they didn't give him the ball enough. I don't understand that. I mean, you're trying to basically have Bo Prabula lead you rather than this running back that nobody can tackle. So, but from a coaching standpoint, but also just in some performance things, I'm not putting down Mizzou. I'm saying it's actually encouraging. They didn't have anything close to their A game, and yet they lost the game to a hot Alabama team by 3 points. Now, that said, Mizzou is past the point of moral victories, so I don't want to hear any of that either. But that game was winnable. They didn't get it done. Maybe the moment was too big for them. But I'll tell you one thing that is going to have to change because, Hardy, more and more teams are going to be doing stuff to take Hardy away, Ahmad Hardy. Do you know how many deep passes Mizzou has attempted this year with Prabula? 14. Now, that ranks near the bottom of all Power 4 conference quarterbacks. 64th. They've only attempted 14 passes that are 20-plus yards downfield. Can you win and beat the big boys when you don't have that downfield threat that you can burn those teams? I think that's very unusual, and I think they're going to have to open it up a little bit.
I agree with you, and that loss yesterday was damaging in the fact that they have some tough ones coming, and not that they were expected to beat Alabama, but it was a win that Alabama had to get and Missouri had to get. Bama survives at 27-24. Now Missouri's got to go down to Auburn, which is never an easy place to play. Illinois loses to Ohio State 34-16. Before we go and we turn it over to Mike Claiborne, let me get your thoughts on the NLCS in particular, where the Milwaukee Brewers, who we've talked about for months now, years now, finally get a postseason series win. Are they good enough to beat the defending champion Los Angeles Dodgers?
Well, they swept the season series, although that doesn't really matter because regular season ain't the same as postseason. And also the Dodgers had a bunch of guys missing when they played Milwaukee. The Brewers, what they did all year is they played great defense. They run the bases extremely well. They do the little things. They get infield hits. They're a great two-strike hitting team. They're a great two-out hitting team. The bullpen is lights out. I mean, they held their bullpen held the Cubs. Well, they had a 1.20 ERA against the Cubs, 30 innings in that series. The thing of it is the Dodgers have their high-powered and outstanding starting pitchers lined up for this, and these guys appear to be in peak form. That's a tough one to overcome. But if it turns into a bullpen type series, Milwaukee's got the edge, and Milwaukee's going to have to manufacture runs. But that's something they did very, very well all season. So I actually give Milwaukee probably more of a chance than some people, because I just respect the way they play ball, and they don't need to rely on home runs to win. But they hit more home runs than people give them credit for, too.
They sure do, and they bashed 3 yesterday and won the game over the Cubs 3-1 with Bernie Miklasz. I'm Tom Ackerman. Great to visit with you, sir, and we will catch up real soon on the Gas House Gang Tuesday.
Yeah, all right, and I'll be listening. Can't wait to hear Chaim Bloom. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have a nice chat with Chaim at 11:15. Mike Claiborne is next. Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are discussing breast cancer with Dr. Debbie Bennett.
It makes a big difference who's actually interpreting the mammogram images that you get. We make sure that we have an expert team of breast radiologists that specialize in reading mammograms to be sure that we can get you the most accurate read possible.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res. So they've been with me for 15 plus years. We've had a lot of seasons together. So it is officially fall now. It's spooky season. You've got Halloween coming up. You have people coming over. It is time to nest for the winter and the holidays. In other words, it's a great time to get your carpets cleaned, to get your furniture cleaned, to get your air ducts clean and your dryer vent clean. You can do all of those very reasonably. There's always a DGS special. This month, it is 3 months of carpet clean starting at $129. That's a $40 savings, 15% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning. The guys do a great job. They've been out to my house half a dozen times, maybe more than that. They work their butts off. They're professional. They are courteous. Call 314-474-2020. You can also book online at ZeroResSTL.com, 314-474-2020, ZeroResSTL.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. McKelvey is on the move with 3 new communities and prime locations opening soon. The early bird gets the worm, so get your pick of the home sites and the best prices first. Join our VIP list at McKelveyHomes.com. Strawberry Farms is located on Mexico Road east of Highway K from the 480s. Post Farms on Highway N near Duello Road from the 540s, or the Reserve in Wildwood at Highways 109 and 100 from $560,000 to $1 million plus. It's a great time to move up to McKelvey.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. youridoc.com.
Love to hear from my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. It's great to spend some time with Mike Claiborne with us on Sports on a Sunday morning. Good morning, Claibs.
And good morning to you. How are you doing today?
Doing great. How about yesterday's trip to Columbia? How did that go as the Tigers fought with Alabama but ended up a little short, 27-24?
Yeah, they came up a little short. And, you know, it was one of those games where you wanted to see where you really stood when it comes to the Alabamas and the Georgias of the world, the prominent programs. And I thought there was significant gain, but I thought Missouri beat themselves more than Alabama beat them. They only had 4 penalties, Tom, but 2 of those 4 penalties were very costly, especially in the first quarter. Where you had Alabama on the ropes early and you get a taunting penalty. Come on, man. You got to be smarter than that. And those are the penalties that Missouri's got to just cut back on. You just can't have it at this stage.
Totally agree. And the targeting penalty, you can, determine what targeting is and try to diagnose it. My thing on targeting is don't let the officials give themselves an opportunity to call it. You know what I mean? Don't put them in a position where they have to make that choice. And that happened.
Well, you know, as Howard Richards described it, he said that it was more of the perfect storm where the defender was trying to turn his shoulder away from him. But at the time the receiver was bringing the ball down, it was just a simultaneous explosion, more or less. And, it was one of those deals where I think in the NFL, they probably don't call that.
I love that radio crew of Mike Kelly and Howard Richards. I had Mike on last week, and he said, there was a time when Bob Hyland would hear this conversation and say, we do not acknowledge the other radio
we'd all be fired.
But I love their radio broadcasts, and I love those guys. And I'm sure that even in a loss, Mike, that it's a great feeling to see Missouri at this level. If anything, and I will get more into this game, but Eli Drinkwitz, Laird Veach, the athletic director, they have a good thing going in Columbia right now.
They really do. Tom, you've been there a lot of times, as have I. I'm not sure if I saw a more festive, electric atmosphere. Everybody with all oars in the water rooting for Mizzou. It was just a fun time. Maybe the fact it was at 11 o'clock start. Some people maybe were just getting their day started, but overall, I thought the way Missouri's presentation was before the game, halftime, the whole 9 yards, it really made you feel like you were in a big-time college atmosphere.
Stadium is under construction. What did you view from that standpoint?
It's going to look good. It's going to look good. I think they're probably maybe halfway through it, and I'm sure by next year it'll be looking incredible. And, I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do with the M, because that's been a tradition to have it on the north end. But overall, man, it looks like a really, really nice setup, and I'm sure the fans are going to be happy with it.
Back to the football game with that offense, Bo Perbula at quarterback. Ahmad Hardy, though, was the key to winning this football game, and they only gave it to him 12 times for 52 yards. I think that's abandoning what you needed to win this football game.
I agree. And I thought that one way Missouri was going to be able to win was to establish a running game. But, Tom, one of the things we're seeing in football, whether it's in the NFL or in college, we don't see runners get as many carries because we're throwing the swing passes. We're going with the RPO, and the quarterback has more options to his disposal. And a lot of times that means not handing it off. I thought had Missouri started to continue to run the ball off the edge, they may have been able to do some damage. If nothing else, get Alabama to think so much about stopping the run that the pass would be open. But they didn't do it. And I'm sure as they look at film today, they'll probably say to themselves, we should have stuck with this a little longer.
When you see Alabama, do you see a legitimate national title contender on the other side?
Yeah, you know what? They have some hogs up front, man, that are just very impressive. Their offensive line is really good. Ty Collins is a good quarterback, not great. But, man, that offensive line can really punish you. Defensively, they get after you, and I think they're only going to get better as the season goes on. I know DeBoer, their new coach, is under a lot of pressure because he's not Nick Saban. Well, there's only one Nick Saban, but he has really had a chance to develop a legitimate culture to continue the tradition of being a national team. They recruit from a national basis. They rely on the tradition of that organization. And I think they're going to be a tough team down the stretch. And, at the rate things are going, because I don't think there's a dominant team on the other side of the conference, if Missouri plays their cards right, we can see this as a matchup in the SEC championship game.
That's very true. I mean, they still have a lot ahead of them. The Tigers do, after losing 27-24 to the Tide yesterday. Mike Claiborne was at Faurot Field. While we have you, let's talk a little Cardinals. And if you're a Cardinals fan, do you want Milwaukee to win this? I mean, do you feel like that's the team that you want to model yourselves after?
Yes. And I've said it to you. I did not see Milwaukee coming this season. I thought when it came down to contention for a postseason spot, it'd be the Cardinals, Reds, and the Cubs. I thought Milwaukee would maybe take a step back. But you really have to tip your cap to their organization and how, A, they are able to find players from other organizations, B, develop their own, and C, become the athletic team that they are. I mean, listen, they run the bases well. They throw to the right bases. Fundamentally, they're very sound. Some would say, well, they don't hit enough home runs. Well, they hit them when they need to, and especially at a hitter's ballpark in Milwaukee. That used to be a home run haven, but they've been able to take advantage of the other elements within the game of baseball and really has made that their strong suit. Their pitching, do they have a Cy Young Award winner on their roster? Probably not, but they have enough guys who know what they're doing, and they have their roles, and they come out and they do an outstanding job with it. And you have to give Pat Murphy a lot of credit for keeping this thing together. So I like Milwaukee, but man, I don't know if Milwaukee sees that first three in the batting order, really the first four, because when Teoscar Hernandez is playing well, those are four tough outs you have to try and get. And so I'm going to kind of see how this thing unfolds. I'm rooting for Milwaukee, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Dodgers win it.
It's crazy how good that Dodgers team is. Milwaukee's never won a World Series, neither has Seattle. Here come the Mariners taking on the Blue Jays today. What do you think there?
Yeah, I like Seattle. Seattle just does everything right. They can flat out pitch, man. That's the key. And when you look at their lineup, as many 20 home run hitters that they had in the lineup, they can also play small ball too. Another fundamentally sound team, and you attribute that to internal development of their players and having a philosophy that we all believe in. And everyone there seems like they bought into it. They have been able to develop their own internal pitching now for a few years, and we're seeing the fruits of that right now. And I'm looking forward to watching that series because Toronto, they're no slouch. I mean, they have some really good players, man. And when you think about Guerrero, I love their catcher. He's a guy who barely strikes out. He always finds a way to put the ball in play. Their pitching has really stepped up. It's going to be a very good series, and I would not be surprised to see them playing 7 games.
It will be entertaining. One last thing, we have Chaim Bloom coming on here at 11:15. Just your impressions of him so far.
I like what I see. I like what I hear. He has a mission. He has a plan. He's gone through this before, and I think I think the fact that he's had 2 years to really assess what was going on within this organization, and he knows what to improve on. He knows what to leave alone, I think. And I think just a different voice to be presenting things is something probably that was needed. And it doesn't take anything away from who was in charge before Chaim, but I really feel like Chaim has a real idea. And I think the best thing about this, Tom, he has no loyalty or allegiance to any players. He didn't draft any of these guys. He didn't trade for any of these guys. So if you have to make a tough decision to move on from someone that we've watched come up through the organization, if you have to do it, then do it.
You're right.
Because I think we've seen enough of everybody on this roster over the last couple of years to know what they could look like moving forward. Can they actually help you with some other players? Are they part of the situation, the solution, or are they the ones that are going to lead you out of the problem? So I'm looking forward to watching Chaim's first move.
You're right. It's quite refreshing, isn't it? Mike Claiborne is with us. Thank you for the time. I appreciate you doing this, and we'll catch up with you real soon.
Always good to visit with you, Tommy. Have a great weekend. I guess we should say go IU these days.
Go Hoosiers. Oh, my gosh.
All right, man. Have fun with that. That was a great game. When you go into Oregon and beat them in their backyard, that's a true statement game.
It's still May. I woke up this morning and I said, "Wow, did that
How
happen?
many times did you pinch yourself?
Did that
happen? How
happen?
many times did you pinch yourself?
Wow, that's incredible.
Well, good for you. Have
Thank you.
fun with it.
Thanks, Clays.
All right.
Mike Claiborne with us on KMOX Sports on a Sunday morning. Jed Stugart, the head coach of Lindenwood. Jim Thomas, longtime Blues writer and Rams writer. And NFL picks and Chaim Bloom. That's what we have between now and pregame for the Cowboys and the Panthers. Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
Ah, fall is here. Baseball, beautiful weather, and the changing colors of trees and shrubs. When you think of your trees, call family-owned Gamma Tree Experts. Fall is a great time to prune and fertilize your valuable trees. Our staff of certified arborists will survey your trees to determine their needs. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Call Gamma Tree Experts at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
At Gray Bar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Gray Bar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. If you want immediate cash for your home or to see what your home is actually worth in today's market, find out for free from the local experts. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, coming to Missouri soon, December 1st. Finally, you'll be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports, and it could not come at a better time of year with football, basketball, hockey. It's all happening. And with FanDuel, tons of ways to get in on the action. You can bet on everything from the money line, over under, bet the spread, or look to the future. Maybe you know who the MVP is going to be or win coach of the year, or what team's going to win the championship. You can do that with FanDuel. Plus, with live betting, you can even pick what player is going to score the next touchdown and the one after that while the game is going on. Download the FanDuel app and get familiar with it because the app will be live to use December in Missouri. You can see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to download the app. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Changing the weather.
Fall.
Changing the weather.
Weather.
Something's happening, yeah.
Temps turning cooler. Days getting shorter. We'll help you weather the weather with the latest forecast from 2 meteorologists and severe weather coverage when needed from the Salika Heating and Cooling Storm Center.
Changing the weather.
The weather. We've got it covered on 104.1 FM KMOX.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stiefel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Jim Thomas joins us in about 5 minutes or so. Right now, we're joined by the head coach at Lindenwood University, Jed Stugart. His team had the weekend off. Hello, Coach. How are you?
Doing good to be on with you this morning.
That's great to be with you. But I want to talk about what happened a week ago on October 4th at Hunter Stadium, a win for Lindenwood over Tennessee Martin. And that's a significant win. Tennessee Martin's a good program. So are you. But also coming off the 38-0 loss at Miami of Ohio. You told us you were going to gather this group back together. You had a lot of pride and faith in them. You saw some signs in that Miami game that they were coming together, and they did. 30-14, you put it on Tennessee Martin.
Yeah, and it was a good, like you said, with us, you want to have those kind of wins in your program to kind of see a little bit where you're at. They're a team that's, was always and is still one of the upper echelon teams in our league, was a co-champion last year. They've always, the first 2 years, they kind of got on us. Our first time we ever played them, and last year we lost in overtime, so we were close. And, this year I think our guys just kind of, from start to finish, really just felt like we were in control of that game. We never got too high, never got too low, and that's the kind of stuff that we have been preaching is consistency. And if the timing's perfect, we obviously played our most perfect game yesterday on a bye week, right? So we, anytime we can get a week off and get some rest, and especially after a win, build on that momentum going into this week.
You had a big second half in that game and won it over UT Martin 30-14. You are 2-0 in conference play, 3-3 overall. And now moving forward, you've got another opportunity on deck. As you said, you had the day off yesterday, back to work, and Tennessee Tech comes in on the 18th for a 1:00 kickoff. 6-0 Tennessee Tech, Coach Stugart.
Yeah, they're going to be probably after today, after all the voting's in, they're going to keep climbing. They're currently 7th in the country right now. I didn't really pay attention to if anybody lost above them, but if they have a chance, they'll probably move up again. So they could be 6th or 5th, depending on what happened yesterday. I didn't pay enough attention to the top 5 teams in the country Saturday. But right now they're a top 10 team, and they're probably arguably the best team in our league right now, the way they're playing. They're very good on all 3 phases. And so, I think, our guys are really looking forward to this opportunity. I don't sense any type of fear. I don't sense any type of intimidation. I think they're really hungry for this opportunity because what I love about our team is the way we prepare them is we're just really honest with them. We let them know who we are, what we need to be to win. We're a young team, so, we don't try to we let them know exactly who they are and what they need to do, and then what we need to take away. And that's kind of what we did last week with UT Martin. And this is a golden opportunity for our program and for our players to be sitting where we're at in conference, have the number 1 team in our conference coming in right now, a top 5, probably a top 5 type team. You can't ask for anything better than this.
That's a 1:00 kickoff on the 18th. It's going to be Lindenwood and Tennessee Tech. And just taking a look around the country, in particular, what's going on around here, Missouri will not play that day until 6:45. So if you're wanting to take in both, that is a no-brainer. You go to the day game, Lindenwood taking on Tennessee Tech at 1. You go get yourself a little something to eat, maybe a couple of pops, and then you settle in for that Mizzou at Auburn game on TV. That sounds like a pretty good day to me.
Sounds like a great day of football. And, come join the pregame festivities and the tailgating. You can't get more entertainment and food. It's a great atmosphere. So hopefully we'll see all of our fans and even new fans come out and take on an experience at Lindenwood.
Have a great day over there. Have a great week of prep, and thanks for joining us on KMOX.
Thanks, Tom. Talk to you next week. We'll see you, buddy.
Yeah, I'd love to. Lindenwood football coach Jed Stugart, great friend of the show. Great to hear him. Lindenwood's rolling right now in conference play. It's nice to hear. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. Jim Thomas, a longtime friend of mine and writer covering the Rams, the Blues. He covered Mizzou once upon a time, too. He's done it all for the Post-Dispatch. Now he's written a book about the Blues. Back in a moment on KMOX.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
KMOX proudly supports the Mutual Awards, returning to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 22nd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event, hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Mutual Awards an event like no other. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State. New Missouri customers can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. And when we go live, place just a $5 bet to unlock $300 in bonus bets. Starting November 17th, you can create your DraftKings Sportsbook account in Missouri and get ready for launch day on December 1st. DraftKings Sportsbook brings you everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere. From dust mites, pet dander, and pollen to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Concerned about where your retirement is heading? Is it on track to meet your needs and goals? Are taxes and inflation a constant worry? Well, you can join Jerry Means for What Retirement Means to You, powered by Means Financial Group, and find out how their team can help guide you to that retirement you've always dreamed of. Tune into What Retirement Means to You with Jerry Means, Saturdays at 3 on KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. More details at meansfinancialgroup.com.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stiefel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
It's great to be joined by Jim Thomas, who has a book out called Blues, a curated history of the Blues, forward by Chris Kerber, The Franchise. And there's a book signing and fundraiser coming up on October 25th. That would be 2 weeks away, where you can grab a signed copy. Half the proceeds go to a nonprofit that we'll talk to Jim Thomas about. Hello, JT. What's going on?
Acky, how are you, my friend? Hey, Bernie was going bananas earlier, but I expect nothing different.
You are going absolutely bananas, as is.
And let me ask you, are you a cookies or brownies guy?
Oh, my gosh. Can you believe that? What was he? He's out of his mind. I love Kurt Signetti.
I think he was saying they're asking some people don't give Indiana the respect, but I think he said, well, some people like cookies, some people like brownies. And I don't know what the Hoosiers are, but they're a hell of a football team.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a cookies guy, but I'll go after some brownies. I really just love that football team, and he does remind me of, it's just old school football. You know, the guy's 63 years old. He doesn't want to go anywhere. One thing I didn't talk to Bernie about is it's already starting. Penn State is going to go after him. Auburn's going to go after him. Everybody thinks he's going to go somewhere else. I don't think he will. I think he'll stay right there at IU. I think they've got the money to keep him, and he likes it there. So that's
I think with the transfer portal and NIL money, I think more schools, as long as they're well funded, are positioned to compete with the big boys, and I think it's really leveled the playing field. I'm trying to think. There was a Signetti that I believe briefly coached the Rams during their time in St. Louis. I wonder if he's related. I have to research that.
You're right. There was. I don't know if they are. His dad, of course, Frank Signetti, the legendary West Virginia coach. Jim Thomas covered the Rams for a long time. Loved working with him. Man, did we have some fun in the media room. I didn't get to work with you on the blue side as much, but I'll tell you, watching you cover the Stanley Cup and reading all of your stuff, it was like old times. I mean, I just enjoyed every second of it. Now you have a book out that I know people are really going to eat up, Jimmy. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was approached. This was right as I was retiring 2 years ago by Triumph Books. They're a regional, not a big-time publishing firm, but they're out of Chicago. And they do kind of a series called The Franchise throughout the country. And like they have a franchise book on the Red Sox, a franchise book on the Yankees, a franchise book on the Detroit Red Wings in hockey. And they wanted to do one on the Blues. And right away that struck me. This tells me that the Blues have a stature as, I don't know, glamour franchise, but that they thought that the Blues history and tradition and brand was worth doing a history of book. What intrigued me was there's been, several books over the years written by the Blues. Our good friend Jeremy Rutherford of The Athletic, he wrote an excellent book on Bernie Federko a few years back. I think years ago, Tom Wheatley wrote a book with Bob Plager called Tales from the Locker Room, but there's never really been a comprehensive history of the Blues written. And although with all that ground to cover, it's not like we cover every little thing, but we touch a lot of bases, and it was a lot of research and maybe a lot more research than someone that had covered the Blues for 35 years and had lived through it all. But I covered them for 6 years. I grew up, anyone who was a teenager as I was when the Blues came in and took the town by storm, going to those 3 straight Stanley Cups. I mean, I want to tell you, growing up on Wyoming Street in South St. Louis, we were all playing street hockey. Mm-hmm. And when the cars came down the street, we just called timeout and waited for the cars to pass and then kept playing. I got checked into some station wagons occasionally.
I bet you did. It's part of our DNA for sure. I mean, the Blues have such a great history. I mentioned that you're going to be at Salt and Honey in Waterloo, Illinois, 10-1 on October 25th. Where is the money going? I see that half the proceeds are going to, I don't know.
His name is Charles, and he's battling cancer. Okay. And so it's a big thing in Waterloo. And so I'm trying to do this at a lot of the book signings. So hopefully we'll have a good turnout there. Also, Tommy, the Blues have graciously, I'm going to do book signings at a couple of their games at Enterprise. Oh, wow. The first one will be Thursday, October 23rd when they play the Mammoth. And so I'll be out there a little bit before the game and then during the game on the concourse. They're going to set me up where they have a lot of the concession stands. So when you're buying that cold beverage or that box of popcorn, I'll be on the lower concourse there signing the book. And half of the proceeds there are going to go to Blues for Kids. These book signings, I'm trying to tie it into charities just to kind of do the right thing.
That's really, really great, Jim, what you're doing there. And of course, the book is going to be excellent for any Blues fan. Sounds like a absolute home run for the holidays for sure. Final minute or so, let me ask you this. Last night or yesterday afternoon, Blues won at 4-2 over Calgary. Am I wrong that Jake Neighbors is the future captain of this team and a throwback? I think he is tremendous.
Well, I tweeted, and I don't tweet too often after games, but it just struck me. I think he's still a little underappreciated, not just by the fans in St. Louis, but maybe around the league. He's got more skill than people think. He's not afraid to muck it up, go in front of the net. He's very well spoken. He's only 23 now. Tom, you and I, when we were 23, we probably didn't know which end of the box was up, but to see how mature he is, yeah, I think I think Montgomery mentioned it after the game that this guy's going to, at some point in the future, is going to be wearing a letter. So, yeah, he's really going to be something special. And I think a typical Blues player, typical Blue power forward. I really liked their game yesterday, and it was a little panicky after that 5-0 game. But that's the Blues game. They have two really good goalies. I mean, don't sleep on Joel Hofer. He really, his credentials were equal, maybe even a little better than Binnington's coming out of juniors and everything. So they're going to be a good team, Tom.
You know what I was doing when I was 23? I was following Jim Thomas around the Rams locker room, making sure I watched one of the best do it. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. You take care now.
Great to visit with Jim Thomas. Go get his book back after the news.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife, Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Stop smoking. Lose weight now without craving, irritability, or your money back. Early bird special, only $49.99 guaranteed. Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and lose the weight. Stop smoking. Feel great for only $49.99 guaranteed. Saturday, October 18th at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis. Weight loss seminar, 11 a.m. Registration, 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar, 2 p.m. Learn more at markpatrickseminars.com. That's right, markpatrickseminars.com.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here, and I just wanted to let you know that FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams in all your favorite sports. And with FanDuel, there are just so many ways for you to get in on the action. And you can check it out at FanDuel.com/Missouri, where you can download the app. You can bet on everything from the money line to over-unders to which team's going to win it all on a futures bet. Plus, with live betting, you can pick which player is going to score the next touchdown or which player is going to hit the next home run and the one after that and the one after that and so on. And I've been with FanDuel since the very beginning. I've been using the FanDuel Sportsbook app for years when I've been in states that allow me to play, and it's a blast. It's super easy, just as easy to get your money out as it is to put your money in, by the way. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to download the app. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and older, present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Celebrations.
Thank you, Trump. Thank you, Trump.
Thank you, Trump.
Vice President J.D. Vance on CBS's Face the Nation.
It's a big day for the entire world.
Vance says the hostages will come face-to-face with the men credited with negotiating their release.
We feel very confident the hostages will be released and that the president is actually traveling to the Middle East likely this evening in order to meet them and greet them in person.
Reporter Linda Gradstein says the hostages will get immediate medical attention.
Hospitals in Israel are prepared to receive them and say they are likely to be severely malnourished as well as suffering from other health problems. The hostages will be turned over to the Red Cross, who will then transfer them to Israeli soldiers, where they will travel by helicopter to the hospital and be reunited with their families.
President Trump will address the Israeli parliament tomorrow, then head to Egypt to witness the signing of the peace agreement. 4 people have been killed, at least 20 injured in a shooting in South Carolina. CBS's Vicki Barker has that.
Police say the shooting occurred in the early hours at Willie's Bar and Grill on St. Helena Island. A large crowd was at the scene when sheriff's deputies arrived. They found dozens of people suffering from gunshot wounds.
At least 6 people were shot and killed in 2 separate shootings in Mississippi. 4 of the deaths happened overnight Friday into Saturday in Leland, where people had gathered for a high school homecoming game.
Blood coming from people's rears and back, side, arm, head, and when you get out, it was like Beirut. It was the most horrific scene I've ever seen.
And 2 people were killed at a high school homecoming game in Heidelberg. A nor'easter is bringing heavy rain and strong winds to the East Coast today. WBOC TV reporter Tiffany Amber.
Along the Delaware Bay, coastal communities are gearing up.
Anytime you're going to see 50-mile-an-hour winds and a sustained and that's what it looks like. We're going to see at least 4 tide cycles, it looks like. When we see that, we know it's going to be a bad storm.
Neighbors say they're doing what they can today to prepare as they get ready for the first nor'easter of the fall season.
I'm hoping it doesn't take a whole lot of our beach. That's my main concern.
The cause of Oscar-winning actress Diane Keaton's death yesterday has not yet been released. CBS's Allie Bauman says Keaton had been busy just before her death.
Keaton was known on-screen and off for her tailored style marked by menswear. The prolific actress was working on 3 productions when she died.
Diane Keaton was 79 years old. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At 11:03, sunny and 71 downtown at the Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow. Top story this hour, Illinois Senators Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth denied entrance to the Broadview ICE facility in Illinois. Duckworth says what the president's doing is illegal.
Is against the law and has been ruled so in federal courts.
The senators describe what's happening in Illinois as unprecedented, unlawful abuse of power. Durbin was asked about President Trump, saying he's willing to work with anyone.
When we look at his budget, he ends up cutting the very programs that our police have asked for and what they need.
Durbin adds the administration is offering $50,000 in incentives for people who sign up to work for ICE. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
A Ferguson man faces several charges after police say he forced his way onto a school bus and told his daughter to attack another child. Authorities say 36-year-old Maurice Fox brushed past the driver and made his 6-year-old go after another girl on the bus who is 7. Fox is currently being held on a cash-only bond of $100,000. Now your weather forecast for the coming week.
Warm for this afternoon with plenty of sunshine. The high 82. Really a beautiful end of the weekend. Partly cloudy tonight, low 63. Tomorrow, warm again, partly sunny, high 82. Intervals of clouds and sunshine Tuesday up to 81. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist John Feerick on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Thank you, John. It's 72 in St. Peter's, 74 in Florissant. We have 71 downtown at the Arch. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
From KMOX Sports, this is the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
What a fun run we've had here already. Bernie Miklasz, Mike Claiborne, Jed Stugart, Jim Thomas. That was the 10 o'clock hour. Chaim Bloom is coming up at 11:15. The Cardinals' new president of baseball operations, making his Sports on a Sunday Morning debut. Last week, we played part of his interview with John Rooney, so we look forward to talking to Chaim. But first, it's time for NFL picks week 6. And let's get right into it. So I went 6-6 last week, Drew. I can't get off this 500. I am a perfect 500 this season against the spread. 50% rate. I want to improve that for you. My big one last week, I felt Scott's not in the room anymore, but I would have said this with him in here, but I did have the Patriots, if you recall, and the points, and they ended up winning that game outright at Buffalo. So that was the one I was happiest about. The other one, it was just basically a lock. I said, no chance Jacksonville beats the Chiefs. I had the Chiefs giving 3.5. They ended up losing the game. That surprised me. I think probably surprised you as well. So let's look at week 6. Let me see if I can make a comeback. We do have, and I'm at 500 right now. I want to be way over 500 this week. Let's go. Jets leading Denver right now, 11-10. That game is in the fourth quarter, 10-16 to go. Jets 11, Broncos 10. Right now, 10-16 to go in the fourth quarter at Tottenham Stadium in London. So here are the games happening today. Let's start with the one on KMOX. Dallas at Carolina. The Cowboys are a 2.5-point favorite on the road at the Panthers. Carolina with a nice win last week. They took care of business and beat the Dolphins 27-24. Dallas a little bit better than the Dolphins, hence why they are a 2.5-point favorite. I'm going to take the Cowboys in this game minus 2.5 at Carolina. Arizona at Indianapolis. Boy, the Colts are really good. Are they 9 points good? They're minus 9 at home against the Cardinals. I'm going to ride it and say yes. Give me Indianapolis minus 9. Chargers at Miami. Chargers bounce back here. They are giving 3.5, though. I don't love that, but I'm going to do it anyway. Chargers minus 3.5 at Miami. Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Just a good old-fashioned battle in the AFC. And I'm going to go with the Browns plus 6. I think they're going to make that game close. Browns plus 6, even though they're 1-4. A desperate Browns team against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Seattle at Jacksonville. So the Jags are 4-1 on the season. That is very, very impressive. Make it 4-2 today. I don't think they can do it again. I'm going to bet against them and go Seahawks minus 1. I think Seattle's really good. I think even though they lost that tough one against Tampa Bay last week, I think they're a playoff team, and they cover at Jacksonville today minus 1. Rams at Baltimore. The Ravens are reeling right now. They're 1-4. They haven't had Lamar Jackson. Rams come in a 7-point favorite at Baltimore. I hate to do it. I'm going to go Rams minus 7. Baltimore looks weak right now. Rams are pretty good, and they should be able to bottle up Derrick Henry pretty well. New England at New Orleans. Patriots coming off that great win at Buffalo. I don't think the Saints are good at all, but somehow they did beat your New York Giants, Drew, last week, and so I have to take them seriously, I guess. New England minus 3 at New Orleans. I'll do it. Patriots minus 3 at New Orleans. That game's on CBS. Tennessee at Vegas. This is the start of the 3:05 games. Both teams 1-4. The line is 3.5. Raiders, the favorite. I'm going to take the Titans plus 3.5. San Francisco at Tampa Bay. Brock Purdy is out. Bucks are a 3-point favorite. I really like them at home. Tampa Bay minus 3. Cincinnati, it's just painful to watch them right now. They're at Lambeau Field, but they're a 14-point dog. That's way too much. I don't care who you are. Cincinnati plus 14 at Green Bay. Detroit at Kansas City. Another desperate moment for the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. They're 2-3. They're only a 2.5-point favorite against the powerful Detroit Lions. Give me the Chiefs minus 2.5 tonight at Arrowhead Stadium against the Lions. Buffalo at Atlanta, one of the 2 Monday night games. The Bills, a 3.5-point favorite on the road at Atlanta after getting beat at home by the Patriots. Falcons are good. They're fun. That place does get charged up when they win. I don't love them enough, though, You know, the thing that's about the Falcons is they're so inconsistent. I mean, losing 30-0 at Carolina is unforgivable to me. They came back and won again the next week, but I'm going to go Buffalo and give them 3.5. Buffalo minus 3.5. Chicago at Washington. The Commanders are a 4.5-point favorite at home against the Bears. Give me the Bears plus 4.5. I think they can pull that off, or at least cover. And that's week 6 of the NFL for you. Chaim Bloom is coming up next on KMOX.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-979-3168. 800-979-3168. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-979-3168.
Looks like we are definitely out of the massive heat waves that we received this year, but any week when it's 90 degrees during the day and 90 degrees at night is in St. Louis, the humidity is not comfortable and our bills do go up. With that being said, we're coming up in the winter months and this is the time that you want to get your furnace looked at and checked. It's inexpensive to have it looked at for your peace of mind. And this is also the time of the year where you'll hear during your furnace checkups that you have a bad heat exchanger or you need a new furnace. Call me if you hear that for a second opinion. You'll be happy you did. And it's one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, Bart Inman. Now that is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. And God bless.
Tom Ackerman for Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best. Are you thinking about it with this weather over this past weekend? And today looks like another fantastic day. Is it time? Is it time to get that new patio built, that new deck that you've always wanted? Or maybe you just want a new fence or deck or patio or sunroom. Maybe you want to do the whole thing over. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is that company. ChesterfieldFence.com. 1968 is when they first came into the area and started not only in Chesterfield, but the entire St. Louis area, helping people save big on backyard remodeling projects, but also doing it right. I mean, nobody does it better than Chesterfield Fence and Deck. They have the best materials. They have the best people. And they have a dedicated team that ensures that every project is tailored to your unique needs. Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Mention me, Tom Ackerman. You'll receive 20% off your next outdoor project. 20% by going to ChesterfieldFence.com. The sign you have the very best.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Great to be back with you. We're joined live by Cardinals President of Baseball Operations, Chaim Bloom. Chaim, thank you for accommodating us as we get ready for some NFL action on KMOX at 11:30. You have been kind enough to move up 15 minutes. So thank you for that, and welcome to Sports on a Sunday morning.
Well, thanks, Tom. Thank you for having me, and happy to carry on this long-standing tradition with you.
The tradition continues. Walt Jocketty, John Mozeliak, and before them as well, just informing people about the team. And let's start there with John Mozeliak. You spent 2 years in the organization, and you don't see it every day where president of baseball operations ends his contract and someone is waiting in the wings as his successor. What was that arrangement like from your perspective?
Yeah, it was very unique. As far as I know, or at least I did not know of any precedent for this in our sport, at least with someone who was brought in from the outside to do that. So it's really interesting. And my bet going into it, which I think was successful, was that albeit it's unique, it was going to have a ton of positives for each of us and for the organization. And I do think that's what happened. It was really cool. When you're in this business, you're in this industry, you get to know people as counterparts, you compete against them. But it's rare in this situation that you actually get to work under and alongside somebody that you've competed against and that you've seen and respected for a long time. And I was really happy that I got to have that opportunity.
You were able to really take a deep dive. What did you do most of the time over those 2 years? Just so fans understand, that first year you were brought in as an advisor, sort of like an audit, I like to say. And then last year you spent a lot of the time in the minor leagues, didn't you?
Yeah, 24, my focus really was player development and performance areas. And that was teed up so that we knew we were going to have a transition coming. When I entered the organization, Mo had talked to me about Gary LaRocque's situation and that he was going to be on his way out of that role at the end of the year. So there was going to be some change coming, and he wanted my thoughts on what that should look like. And so I was able to do a deep dive there, go around to affiliates. I got to sit with so many people in the organization, both people that were in those departments currently, people that had been in them in the past that were now elsewhere in the organization, and even some alumni of the organization that I got to talk to about what is this place and what is the Cardinal way and how do you feel about the tradition of this organization as it relates to development. And so I was able to come up with a lot of ideas about where I thought the organization should go next. And over the course of talking about those things with ownership, with Mo, these discussions got bigger, and obviously they led to where we are now with me taking over the baseball operation.
And the next move for you is to continue to build that front office. Do I have that right? You want to kind of get that all settled, and then you start working on staff and roster?
Well, October, when you haven't earned the right to keep playing into October, really staffing becomes your main focus during that month, up and down the organization. There's a lot of different things. We were able to add a lot of staff, as I think our fans know, to the departments I talked about, player development, performance. We were able to do that last year. That's not done. We still have some more additions and moves to make there, and I've been able to look in 2025 at the rest of the organization and identify some areas where we could move things forward. And so we're going to be doing that. It's not going to be all in one fell swoop. This is something, obviously, as every organization, we're going to evolve over a period of time. But we are focused right now on seeing how we can enhance some of what we do as an organization. And some of that will be by bringing some people in, or perhaps putting people in who have been here in situations where they can make a new and different kind of impact.
last week I had you on the Gas House Gang. We did, and you were really good. I mean, you went 25, 30 minutes with us straight through. And one of the things I asked you was, we sort of took a deep dive in your development. But the first thing that I asked you in that question was, what is different? I get the idea that fans really want to know what is there to look forward to that sort of breaks away from how things were done. You just mentioned the Cardinal way, and that's always been a piece of Cardinal history, and it always will be. There is a way of doing things, but Chaim, doesn't the way change over time? Baseball changes over time, and that is one of the tasks that you will set out to achieve here.
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the things that I was able to see, and I heard from people who have been a part of this organization over the years, and to me, as someone who's been in the industry for a while, I actually think that is an essential part of the Cardinal way. That I talked about some of this, from the dais a week and a half ago. That this organization really has been defined more than anything by setting the standard for the rest of baseball, and some of that is moving things forward for the industry, innovating. The idea of standing still and never evolving, really, to me, is not the Cardinal way. The Cardinal way is always about moving forward and setting a new standard. Your principles and your values and the things that you care about and believe in, those can be timeless, but your methods do need to change. This is a really competitive business, and you have 30 clubs every year all fighting over the same number of wins and all gunning for the same trophy. So everybody is always trying to move forward. That's how we in the front office compete. And if you want to win that competition, you can never stand still. It doesn't matter how good you think you are. You always have to be trying to be better. You can never think you're good enough.
What is your read on the fan base and on this market? And where does St. Louis stand in terms of what you've seen over the years in baseball markets?
Well, I'd always seen it from the outside, and you hear about the reputation that the fans have of being such an amazing and supportive fan base. But I hadn't spent much time in St. Louis prior to starting work here in 24. And literally from my first trip into town, you could tell it's a baseball town. You can just feel it. Everybody knows what's going on with this organization. I was here in a role where I was very much off to the side, but sometimes I get stopped on the street. And that just tells you, it's not nothing about me. It just tells you how closely our fans follow the game and follow the industry. It's not just about did we win or lose. They care about the organization. The organization really, really matters here. And you just feel it. Obviously the last few years, we as an organization haven't done our part on the field. And that does have an effect in terms of, we see it obviously at the ballpark, and the atmosphere in the ballpark's not the same. But it was very apparent to me, just the more time I've spent in St. Louis, how much this matters to people has not changed. We have to earn them back into the ballpark by the product that we put out there, but you just know it's a baseball town.
And that baseball town will be part of your life here for the foreseeable future. And you know that there's going to be positives and negatives because they are passionate. They will voice their opinion, and they do it often, just like in any passionate sports town, which you grew up in Philly, you've been in Boston, you understand. We're going to go through the roster down the road here as we have these Sunday visits. There will be a time for that. But our final thing here before we leave at 11:25, tell me about the Bloom roster, your family that I know has been a big part of your life.
Yeah, very fortunate. Definitely the center of my life. Really the one constant in life, albeit if you ask them, they'll tell you I probably spend way too much time away from them working on baseball. You still have to know deep down where your priorities are. Very fortunate. I have a wife who has an awesome career in her own right, teaching law, and is a superstar at that, in my uninformed opinion. And 3 kids. I've got 2 sons, boys who are 11 and 9, who, for better or worse, are absolutely obsessed with baseball. Believe me, with what I do, that has its ups and downs. I bet you as we go forward here and, we start making some moves and doing some things, their hot takes inside of my house will rival anything that you get from your listeners. They do not pull any punches, and they are not nicer to me about things that the baseball team does just because I'm their dad. We also have a 4-year-old daughter who I don't know has enough of a knowledge base under her about the sport to have those opinions. But judging from her general disposition, I think that's a good thing because she has plenty of opinions about a lot of other things. So it's a lively household, never a dull moment, and really good preparation for that environment you talked about, because it's the same, that level of noise is the same for me, whether I'm inside the house or walking on the street.
Sounds like they're going to fit right in. Thanks for joining us, Chaim.
You bet. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Chaim Bloom with us on KMOX. We'll be visiting with him on Sundays. Cowboys and Panthers are next.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can